People were no happier when thinking about pleasant topics than about their current activity. Think about that. In fact, the mere focus on what they were doing was more powerful than anything else, even if they didn't enjoy what they were doing. The tendency for their mind to wander from an activity than if they tended to be focused on the activity they were engaged in. That itself should be surprising. I mean, what that says is that even if somebody was engaged in an activity like cleaning their house or doing homework or reading something that they weren't enjoying, if they were focused on what they were doing, they tended to report as happier than if their mind was drifting elsewhere. The major takeaway, or the one that perhaps we should all be most concerned with, is that when we are not focused on what we are doing, we tend to be far less happy than when we are focused on what we are doing, even if what we are doing is something that we don't deem very pleasant. The practice that's known to be beneficial for increasing our ability to focus is, among other things, a short meditation practice. Even a very brief meditation of just 13 minutes or so, done consistently, ideally every day, but I have to imagine that even if you skip a day, there are still benefits. That sort of meditation can greatly enhance one's ability to focus. When one does that, the circuits of the brain involved in focus dramatically improve. That is, they rewire and increase their ability for you to achieve focus. It's very clear that even a 5 minutes a day, or ideally an up to a 13-minute a day meditation, can greatly increase our ability to focus. And based on the findings in this paper, a wandering mind is an unhappy mind, also make it very clear that the ability to refocus again and again and again on what we're doing throughout our day, regardless of what we're doing, can have a very dramatic, in fact, a statistically significant increase on our levels of overall happiness. Pro-social spending is a phenomenon where people are taking a certain portion of their income and they are giving it to others. One of the central themes around gratitude is that while receiving is great, giving is also great in terms of increasing sense of well-being. And one of the more important features to that is when we give, either in the form of words or in the form of resources, knowledge that the person receiving benefits from that in some real way greatly increases the chance that there's an increase in happiness for the giver as well as the receiver. Whereas, quote, personal spending remained unrelated to happiness. So what this study basically found was if people are allotted a certain amount of money to give away, and when you adjust for income level, what you find is that people who gave away money benefited tremendously in terms of their own increase in happiness. So the actual bonus, the receiving of the money, led to greater increases in happiness if they gave it away. And the act of giving it away itself led to greater increases in happiness than receiving the bonus. So what else does the research tell us we can do to increase our levels of genuine happiness? Quality social connection is extremely powerful in terms of its ability to increase our levels of happiness. What is quality social connection? Quality social connection falls into a number of different bins. This can be romantic connection, this can be friendship, this can even be coworker or just daily superficial interaction type connections. That's surprising to a lot of people because I think a lot of people hear quality social connection and they think deep conversation or long walks on the beach or camping trips together or travel together. And while all of those certainly qualify as wonderful opportunities for social connection, but opportunities for quality social connection are certainly not limited to those kinds of interactions. It's very clear from the research that oftentimes our conversations with people that we are closest to are actually quite shallow. Our ability to create states of happiness is dependent on our environment, but also requires effort from us. So if you're trying to think about how to improve your levels of happiness, that you would be smart to try and adjust your home environment, adjust your work environment so that it is cheerful to you. We are in what I would call a dynamic relationship with our environment. Our environment has an effect on our mood, but the research indicates that we also need to make some sort of effort toward being happy. Create states of happiness by hopefully doing work that's meaningful to you, or at least is leading to meaningful outcomes.